A few very important things have happened since I last sat down to play Timberborn. Thing number one is that I got some sleep and I'm feeling a little bit better than I was in those first two episodes. I feel like I'm talking almost normally. I'm still coughing a bit here and there. I'm still having to pause every now and then, but I feel a little bit more normal, which is fantastic. Thing number two is that I've just had a fantastic little cup of tea, and I'm quite happy about that. Thank you for asking. And thing number three is that there's been a game update since I last played Timberborn, which has broken things down a little bit differently in the well-being panel, and a couple of other things have changed here and there as well. But I like this. I kind of like this little layout. We can kind of get a better idea of what's going on. And something really interesting happened. We've actually unlocked the Iron Teeth. Now, I'm not sure how we did that, but when I loaded up the save, our well-being was at 8, and I'm guessing it was maybe the terrace or the campfire, improving social life, it might have been the potatoes, just sort of everything combined might have got us to a really good spot. I don't really know. I'm not 100% sure what happened or how it happened, but I'm also not really complaining, so yeah, we managed to unlock the Iron Teeth, which means we can play as that faction whenever the opportunity arises, which will be at some point. No idea when, but it'll be at some point. We've also gone ahead and built most of everything around here. Still got 2 sections of path to go, but that's all right. We've managed to start chopping down some trees around here. These guys have actually been harvested once already and are regrowing. The birch trees are going to be good to harvest shortly. And the maple trees are actually coming along really nicely as well. So we should have a really good harvest coming up in the near future. Which is good because there's a couple of things that we need to start doing. We need to start looking into more general production and also more regular power as well. So for wood, for example, I've gone ahead and unlocked the gear workshop, which is where we can produce wooden gears, which are essential for other productions. We could go and get the paper mill, which lets us make paper using logs. And then we could get a printing press, which will make books out of paper, which gives us knowledge, which would be absolutely fantastic. I don't think our current little setup here is going to accommodate that. I think what we should probably do is look into making sure that we're going to be okay on the next drought, because there was a drought. I did play a little bit of this between episodes, and there was a drought. So I want to make sure that the next one is going to be okay. And part of what I'm going to do for that, given that we have 10 unemployed beavers with room for 42 beavers, and we currently have 38 with 12 of those being children, I want to go ahead and I want to build another water pump. And I want to build it right there. And I want to go ahead and build another 2 small water tanks right there. But I also want to get, now this is where the gears would come in useful, I want to get the large water tank. And honestly, potentially the irrigation tower as well, so that we can go ahead and start irrigating more of this land to get a bit more food. Now, it is worth remembering that part of the point of this game is that you don't just go all in on, I realized I could put another pump right there if I wanted to. You don't go all in on one district, and that's what I'm doing right now. But my thinking is that if I build this district up to be really, really good and really solid, we can eventually turn this district into maybe just a farming district and start pulling out the industries. And then what we can do is maybe go and build an industrial district up in the hills or something like up here. I think that would be kind of interesting. And then maybe a wood cutting industry or district, I suppose, down here, I think would be kind of interesting. So you have your farming, you have your production and industry, and you have your wood cutting off in the distance as well. I think it would be kind of interesting. It's just not something I think we need to do right now. So speaking of right now, what I want to go ahead and do is I kind of want to look into food. I'm going to be honest. I kind of want to look into food. Because if we can get a grist mill and we can get a bakery, we can start making bread. But I also noticed if we can get a beehive, it will boost the growth of nearby crops. So that would be really useful as well. But I think I want to get bread production going. I think that's going to keep us even happier. So that's kind of going to be my focus. But to do that, I need gears. And for gears, we're going to need more power. Because at the moment, the lumber mill is taking up 50, I guess, HP, horsepower. That's the one. 50 horsepower out of the current 180 that's generated, leaving us 130. And this guy would need 120. Oh. Okay, that actually works out for us. So we can absolutely get the gear workshop and put it over here somewhere. Do I want to get rid of some of the... birch trees? I don't know that I do, to be completely honest, but at the same time, it probably makes a bit of sense to pull the birch trees out of there and turn this into another little industrial spot. So maybe that is what we do. Although if I just tear all of them out, I guess we wait for them to be harvested, right? They're very much nearly done. So I think we go ahead and wait for these guys to grow so we can get the wood, so we can get more planks. We'll build the gear workshop, and we're also going to need to unlock the high power shaft. That's going to be kind of essential as well, which actually itself needs gears. That is a bit of a pickle. That is a bit of a pickle. That ever so slightly annoys me, because it means that we're 100% going to have to change a lot more of this layout. So I guess what we do is we'll go in, we're just going to say clear out all of this path down here and clear out these resources as well. And I want to make that a bit of a priority. Now, we do have a lot of unemployed beavers. This should not take long to do at all. In fact, what if we go ahead and put 2 more beavers in there? Because I think they are, yeah, they're builders, employs builders. So that should make construction just a little bit easier, which will be absolutely fantastic. And then what I think we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, we're going to get ourselves the gear workshop. It's going to live, I guess, right about there. And actually, right about there is not a terrible spot for it. Because if the paper mill is about the same size as a gear workshop, we can put it here and just give it a direct power connection through the building. Which would be kind of interesting. Or we could do a second gear workshop. Or I guess we could do a second lumber mill would actually be kind of valuable, I think. I've got to be honest, I think a second lumber mill might actually be something I want. Huh. I'm suddenly very tempted. I'm suddenly very, very tempted by a second lumber mill. Let's do it. Let's do a second lumber mill, and I can get a little gear workshop right there as well. We can do a nice little corner of production down here. Ooh. Look at this being all efficient looking. It's a little cramped, but I think I'm going to be grateful for that later on, because we actually need a lot of planks for a lot of the construction at some point. So a lot of planks, a lot of gears, going to be good to have. And this little T-junction in there means I can just go and do that. And the thing is, we're not going to have enough power from this one wheel, but I wonder if I could get away with this. Now, that's too far away from builders. Hold on a second. What if I did this? Does that give us a close enough connection? It doesn't. Okay. So what I could do is just build another water wheel, which I guess is what we're going to have to do. Because I do want to do this. I want this kind of early production to make everything a little bit easier. So let's go to power. Let's go to water wheel. We'll just get one right here. And that should be fine. And we can do more down this way if we ever need them. But for now, that should work out. And what we can do is just throw a straight, actually just a T junction right in there as well. And we'll make that a bit of a priority over everything else so that it gets done a little bit quicker. Now, we are kind of low on logs, but I mean, we should have these guys getting harvested 50%, 81%. We have a harvest on the way. I think we'll be fine. It's going to take a minute for it to pick up, but we have a harvest on the way, so that's all right. Now, what I would like to do is actually go ahead and clear out some resources down here. So I want to mark all of these for demolition and all of these as well. And the reason I want to do that is because I think what we'll do is go ahead and just put wheat down here. And then we can eventually get a bakery up and running. And also, this is now connected, which is lovely. So we have people living in all of those spaces. And I actually want to check something about this. So, yeah, a rooftop will actually give them an aesthetic bonus. So I wonder if I go into decoration. Now, we have a lot of roof pieces in here. I don't think they're going to fit together very nicely. But what if I went and got, say, this one? It's a 2x2. It looks like this, and it does satisfy the aesthetic needs of quite a few buildings around there. So what we could do is, at the very least, this across the tops of those ones, leaving the front ones kind of flat, because these don't actually intersect or anything, annoyingly. And then we could maybe grab with a bit more, I guess we spend 150 science in this one as well, do something like that. I think that looks okay. I think it makes the area look nice. And I don't think I can have this overhang anything, unfortunately, but that's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. It'll be interesting to see those come together. It's going to take a while, but it'll be interesting. Now, let's go ahead and bring a little path just over here, just to nicely divide this entire space. So this entire area down here can be wheat. And I don't know if we're going to need another farmhouse for it. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea to get another farmhouse, especially with 12 unemployed beavers. But I don't know. I suppose we could also look into more forestry, which actually really wouldn't hurt, would it? A bit more forestry would be a nice idea. Huh. Now, what's the distance on the district? So it goes up to there. Do I want to do forestry up here? Or do I want to do it down here? Sort of in a lot of this space. Although I wonder as well, is the district limited by this lack of path up there? So if I click you now, ooh. Okay, so that's all considered part of the district as well. All right. So that works for me. What if we go ahead and do a simple little path that sort of comes down there? And what if I go ahead and say, mark up these resources on that line for demolition and make that a high priority, please? Because doing that might give us a really nice space for, number one, well, a bit more forestry, but we can also start growing berries very specifically as well. So bring this all the way down there. And I think what I'll do is use paths to sort of mark out where things should be. Because obviously we don't want to grow trees on land where there's no water. Although we could do an irrigation tower up there if we really wanted to, but I don't really want to. So if I did right there, and I went for right about there, that gives us two distinct areas to grow trees or berries or whatever. And what we can also do is bring a path down something like this and over something like this. And if I just go ahead and clear out some of that space as well, so mark out these resources and those resources, that's going to give us district coverage all the way down to there. Now, if I just go and extend this path a little bit, we still don't have that corner, but that's okay. Because I think what we can do is mark up just a couple, just all of those resources right down to the water, I guess. So mark up all of those, and then go right down to the water. And now we have good coverage. Okay. This might actually work out really nicely for us. I'm going to take a bit of a chance in doing something here. This might be a really silly idea. But I'm going to say that we want to mark all of these berries and those ones. Do I want to do this? I'm going to leave these ones for now because we're getting some food from those. But we've barely touched any of these up here, so I'm going to just mark all of these for destruction and all of these guys for destruction as well as those trees and I guess those ones as well. So we'll just clear out all of those resources. And I'm thinking we build something like, let's see here, a forester right about there. We're probably going to want 2 of them, honestly. So I think a forester right here would be a good idea. Another one right there would be a good idea. And then I'm going to want one like here. Maybe even 2 of them. Maybe we do one like down here. Actually, down there is kind of a cool spot. Yeah, that's absolutely where I'm building a forester. And I'm putting another one right next to it because that's a really cool spot. Although the towers being next to each other like that's a bit weird, so maybe not. So one there. We'll do one, I guess. Well, I guess there's fine for now. We can do one, I guess, about there. And another one right down here once everything's cleared out. And that'll be, I think, kind of neat. I think that'll be a good little bit of coverage. Although we will probably need one up in that space as well. But that's going to let us start putting a bunch more trees in here, as well as start growing berries intentionally so that we just keep up with more food, but also more wood, because obviously that's a little something that we're a bit short on right now. Although these guys have started growing, and these guys are almost ready for harvest. So we should see production come along. It's maybe just going to take a minute, but we'll get there. It'll be all right. Although if someone would clear... Ooh. We have a drought coming in 3 days. Okay. I mean, we should be fine. We should be able to handle it, no problem. It's still a bit of a worry. It's always a bit of a worry, to be completely honest, but we should be fine. I'm sure nothing bad's going to come of it. I'm sure... I mean, we have enough water stockpile to survive. We have enough, I guess, food. Yeah, we have 860 food, so I think we'll manage. Although I think we really got to get our hands on more warehouses. So what do we need for this one? 250 for the large warehouse? Well, I mean, we can research it. We just don't have the materials to build it right now. But we can certainly research it. And also looking at it, I reckon we could probably put 2 of these right next to each other and build on top of it. I'm going to test something here because I want to just try... I want to try something. Can I do this? No. That would be really cool if I could... Hold on a second. What if I went in and put down some platforms? Can I then put you... I can put you there. Can I... Wait, they could go under that. Oh. Oh, that would be really cool, actually. Ooh. Okay. I mean, we're not going to build this right now. I mean, we could build this right now. Oh, man. That would be kind of cool. I gotta be honest. That would be a really, really cool structure to have right there. I mean, we'd have to do something. So it'd be something like this at the front, right? I guess. And then stairs kind of leading up to the sides like that. That's pretty cool, though. You gotta admit, that's kind of cool. And then if I really wanted to do something like this, we'd have to maybe get like a double platform or just stack 2 of them like that. But then in theory, can I do this? Oh my god. That's ridiculous. Yeah, so there's a lot of verticality when it comes to the building in this game, which I really want to get into, but we just don't have the materials right now, so we'll just leave it be. But that's... Ooh. That's really cool. That's really cool, and I'm really excited about it. I've also just realized with the drought coming in, our power situation. I mean, we've got this thing built, and that's great, but it's hit me ever so slightly. Oh, that's done already. That was a lot quicker than I thought it would be. All right. Oh, these are getting chopped down as well. Now that should mean a whole bunch of logs, right? Because these guys should give us 8 logs each. Okay. So we should have a bunch of you guys heading up to start storing all of that, which means we should see construction start getting nicely underway. We've got gears being produced as well, which is fantastic news. We should have another gear workshop in no time at all. We've got some of them socializing. The rooftops should be done as well. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's prioritize the foresters, and let's prioritize clearing the materials as well. Because as nice as it is that, you know, we're getting all this other stuff, I do want to get these resources out of here. That's kind of my priority right now. I'm also thinking, isn't there a... Yeah, there's a builder's hut. Employs additional builders, extend its range by building paths. There's also a hauling post. Haulers assist workers within a district in carrying goods, greatly increasing their productivity. I feel like that would be really useful to have too. I feel like we kind of need it. I also like that it can be built on top of... Man, the verticality though. I love it. I really do. I also feel like the haulers could probably go like down here, I guess, sort of opposite the town hall or the district center. And then a builder's hut. I mean, I feel like we need the workers, you know? I really do. Or we need to get people working is kind of what I mean more than anything else there. So we'll do the builder's hut right there. And we'll get both of those built in hopefully no time at all. Because we really should start seeing a massive amount of logs starting to be moved into storage. Each of these guys is 8. Each of these guys is 2. So, should be kind of fantastic. It's 2 times the waiting for 4 times the resources, right? So these guys are, what, 12 days to grow and 2 logs, and these guys are 24 with 8. It's a pretty good trade-off. At least I think so anyway, but, you know, what do I know? I'm not a beaver, right? Allegedly. Every video that's had facecam might be elaborate CGI, but there's no way of proving it. I might, in fact, be a beaver. I'll never admit to it. You can't prove it, but it's possible. It is possible. Now, let's make sure all of this is getting cleared out, because some of it is already starting to regrow, which is slightly irritating, because we got this little bit down here regrowing as well. So mark that up. We'll mark you up as well. The drought has started, which is always a bit terrifying. Yeah, there goes the water draining out. Okay. And power has stopped as well. So how's the water level? Man, that water level's not as high as I'd like it to be. I wonder if that's because we're just pulling up so much of it. But at the same time, I mean, we have 220 water right now, so I think we'll be okay. I hope we'll be okay. We do have 41 beavers right now. And actually, they have... That's very close to filling all of the housing, so... Huh. Interesting. I've also realized a little something. If I built a house with the door on the opposite side up here, we could have a little stairway leading straight up to it. But then we'd lose the benefits of the shrub, and I kind of want to keep the shrubs, so... I don't think we're going to do that. It'd be kind of cool if we did. And that actually gives me some ideas, because here's the thing. I'm talking about verticality, right? So, if I was to build a bunch of lodges like this, and then a bunch of lodges like this, right? If we did a path that went like this, we would obviously connect these ones and then just be able to do something like that, right? But then say I wanted to have more lodges on top of that. Now, I'm not going to build this. I'm going to delete all of this in just a second. But if I wanted more lodges on top of that, if I wanted to stack this up to 4 high, how would I do that? Would be my question. Because my thinking here would be that we would probably need to have some kind of platform system going. It would need to be a double high platform, wouldn't it? Now, how much for the double high platforms? 150. So for the sake of example, we'll do it this way. We'll imagine that's a double high platform, right? So I guess it would be double high platforms leading straight to those initial doors. So ignore the fact that there's a path down there. But then what do we do here? Because we can't do a platform over that unless a double high platform can go over the top of stairs, but I would doubt it. Because my thinking was we'd just put stairs here, right? Unless it would have to be a bridge, which is a thing that we can do. We can do bridges. So I don't know. At the very least, we can go this high with it and sort of keep it all to a relatively small footprint. And then we would just sort of mirror it to the other side, I guess. So if we wanted to, we could go very dense, is kind of what I'm getting at there. I know that's all a bunch of nothing for now since we can't build any of this. But, man, the ideas are starting to just like, I can see them. I can see the ideas coming together in my head, and I'm like, ooh, I wonder if I could do that. Ooh, I wonder if I could do that. It would be interesting. It would definitely be interesting. And I know part of the point of this game is that you do go quite vertical with a lot of the construction, so I'm excited. I'm actually really excited to give this a shot. So let's go ahead and get this guy connected to the paths. So we'll go ahead and do something like this, actually. And we'll take that sort of weird section of path away from there. And that should mean that I can take that bit of path out as well. We should still have range. Yeah, we do. So we have range and all of that, which means what I'm going to do is I'm going to say we grow blueberries in all of that space. In fact, since most of the blueberries at this point have been taken out of that space, let me mark all of them for destruction. Let me prioritize that. And let me also go ahead up here and say that we want a bit of path right there, and a bit of path right there. And also a little bit of resource destruction right there as well. Just to make sure all of that gets cleared out. So we'll clear out all of it. And then we'll have this entire space be blueberries. We'll do, I guess, just a bunch of trees up here. And I guess that works out. I guess that's okay. We're going to need some more gatherers and stuff like that as well. We're definitely going to need to get more warehouses. That's for sure. I mean, what do we got right now? We have some gears. We have some potatoes. We have a lot of logs sitting around, but because we don't have power, nothing's actually getting done. Which is to be expected, so that's probably all right. Can we get this out of here as well, please? There we go. Okay. So now what we'll do is say that that entire space is going to be blueberries, and you are going to prioritize blueberries. So there we go. So that whole space will start growing. What we could probably go ahead and do is say, I'm so tempted to do maple trees. It's really tempting because, again, yes, it's 2 times the weight, but it's 4 times the total resources. I'm kind of thinking maple trees are going to have to be, it's going to, you know, it's going to take time, but I feel like it's probably worth it. I really do. I don't know if it is, but I feel like it is. So we're going to operate under the assumption that maple trees are potentially going to be worth it. Now we've got 1.3 days left in the current drought. Water levels they're a bit low. We have enough for the beavers to survive. Honestly, it's the crops that I'm worried about. It's really not the beavers. They will be fine. But getting the crops and making sure they survive, that's going to be the tricky part. Because this definitely needs to be... We need a more permanent solution for drought, is basically what I'm getting at. We definitely need a more permanent solution. Because this little body of water that we have, yeah, that ain't going to cut it. I don't think that's going to cut it. And also, again, more storage as well. So let's... I mean, what do we need for storage? We need logs for a small warehouse. We have plenty of those. We need planks for a large warehouse. I mean, what if we did... Well, what if we did a couple of things? If I go ahead and I say, give me a lumberjack flag right about there, and give me another one, say, right about there, that'll be a couple more jobs created in that space. We have a gatherer right about there. But what if I went ahead and said, move the gatherer flag to that spot, get rid of that one? In fact, we could get another couple of small water tanks in there, which honestly, I would not be against doing. A little bit more water is always going to be a good thing. So we'll get another gatherer right there. But we could probably throw one like opposite or in the corner or even up here, to be honest. Which I kind of like the idea of putting one in that spot. Just sort of tucked away, out of the way a little bit. That works fine for me. So that'll be a couple of gatherers to start dealing with the berries in this space. So you've got nothing to do in range right now. That's fine. We knew that would happen. That was kind of the point. And you guys will have plenty to do in range at some point as well. And the droughts ended, which is fantastic news because it means that this should all start producing again in a little bit once the water gets here, which it is on the way. Okay. Fantastic. So the water's on the way. The drought's over. We're filling up these tanks already, which is actually kind of impressive. I'm not going to lie. It's actually very impressive that we're filling those up already, but okay. I'll tell you what. Oh my god, the log storage is full. I'll tell you what. Let's do... Let's do a bit of storage over here. I don't know if we have the space to do this exactly how I would want, but I'm certainly going to try. How could I do this in a way? Okay, I see what we can do. Let's do this. So let me get rid of you and you. Let me do this and this, right? Although, couldn't I technically put log storage on top of warehouses? Because I think this is going to have to be a storage square for now. So, how would this work? I don't want to do large warehouses right now. But if I was to do something like, oh boy, the spacing on this is going to be kind of weird. Something like this. Something like this. Rotate them around a bit. And then we could technically go for, you know, right here if we wanted to, but I'd probably be inclined to leave a gap of 2 just because. And then for these spaces here, I mean, actually something like that would be okay. And then in the middle, we kind of have nothing, but that's all right. So that's a whole bunch of storage, right? But can I put these on top? Oh, ground only, never mind. Okay. That's fine. Delete those buildings. Let me do some log storage because I do think we're going to need this. So let me just do this, right? A whole bunch of log storage. We'll do some small warehouses sort of on the sides. And in terms of getting up, if we wanted to do these larger warehouses, man, I wonder what the best way to do this would actually be. I'm not 100% sure, and I'm also thinking this space could probably be used a lot better if I change this layout slightly, but I think we'll just kind of leave it be. I think we'll have enough logs to kind of manage to do this as well. So what we'll do is just run some paths directly to those. We'll run some stairs up at either kind of end there. We can bring some platforms around like this. And I guess that's probably about as good as it's going to be. But then we have these builders' huts as well. And I wonder if I could move sort of the builder's hut and maybe move the hauling post into better spots. So if I go to labor and I go hauling post maybe right there and builder's hut maybe right there. It does look a little weird having them sort of just there though. I think it would be cool to have them on top of these things, but only way to do that would be to start double stacking and going a little bit higher with everything, but well, like, I mean, we could. We do have the space. We don't need all of these berries, so you know what? Sure. Let's do it. This is going to be ridiculous, but let's do it. So we'll do the two of them on this side over here actually. So that one there, get rid of you. Give me the, what is it? The builder's hut. Put it right there. And now I have to work out how this is actually going to work. So what we would want to do is get the double platform, which we can actually afford. So, So double platform would go there, I think. I'm not 100% sure on this. Something like this, right? And then we would need another platform there and there, and another single platform there and there. We would do stairs. And that would be it, I guess. Oh my god. This is a little silly. And a little unnecessary. But at the same time, it looks kind of cool, and I've been toying with the idea of verticality all day, so yeah, that's going to be our new oh, that's going to be our new storage area. That's a little ridiculous looking. It's definitely a little ridiculous looking, but it should mean that we can have a bunch of logs, and we are going to have a bunch of logs coming in from over here as well, so it's actually probably for the best that we do it this way. As ridiculous as it's going to be, it is going to be a ridiculous amount of storage, which is kind of what we need it to be. Now, I do wonder, if I do a little path there, are we going to see some beavers come over to start actually getting rid of these resources? Because they've been marked for ages. There we go. So get those out of there, get that prioritized, get the last 3 gone, and I can start putting some trees in here, and we can actually start making something interesting of this space. And there we go. Okay. So delete this. And what we'll do is, I think we go maple. I think we commit, and I think we say that the entire space is going to be maple. Knowing full well that they take ages to grow. It's just, I think the yield from the maple trees is gonna make it worth it. Right? It's got to. It's absolutely got, at this point it's got to, especially since I'm kind of committing to it completely. So I really hope this works out, but it'll keep my foresters busy as well, which is kind of what we want. And wow, they're building these really quickly. I'm actually slightly surprised by that, just how quickly the whole thing's getting done. I guess we do have a bunch of logs in storage, and we do have all this production down here, so it's kind of to be expected. And I guess we should also look into the food thing that I've been talking about, huh? So the grist mill is 180, the bakery is 160. Do we want to start growing wheat already? I mean, it's 10 days to grow it. I feel like we probably should. So let's mark up an area, and I feel like bringing a path down through that area is probably a bit of an idea. So what if we did a little path that goes to there, and we just do a cheeky little farmhouse down at the end of it? So that way we can get rid of that tree, but we can all, oh wow, these guys are keen. Okay, that looks all right to me. I like that. I like that a lot. I mean, we still have 12 unemployed beavers, but they'll get taken up by the holing post and the builder's hut, which I think both hire, I don't know, probably 4. I wonder if it's 4. I think it's 4. Wait, is that workers 10? Oh, builder's hut's 4. Oh, we can hire 14 beavers. Okay, I can get behind that. I can absolutely get behind that. That's not bad at all. Good Lord. Okay, and then this is all coming along really nicely as well. So we're doing good. We're doing really good. I mean, a lot of construction needs a whole bunch of planks, and we have a bunch of unconnected buildings, and the game's going to complain about that for a while, but I think we're doing good.